I trained myself to go from 4.9 to 4.4 in the 40-yard FAT. I've also trained athletes to go 4.2 in the 40-yard and 10.5 in the 100-meter dash. And one of the most important things that helped us get faster was our warm-up. So in this video, I'm going to give you the warm-up I use on my athletes in the Speed Academy program to help you increase your speed. First, we're going to warm up the body with extensive skips. This is almost like you're jogging, but now we're going to bounce off the ground and try to get off the ground in around anywhere from 0.15 to 0.2 seconds. This is great for developing elasticity needed to be a good athlete, and you're also developing your reactive strength, which is really important for sprint speed, warming up the ankles, warming up the tendons, and then we're also doing multi-directional to develop some base level coordination needed for being an explosive athlete. Now, if you need some more technique development, you could do stuff like A skips and A switches for anywhere from 20 to 30 seconds or 10 to 30 yards, and the same focus. We're getting off the ground fast. We're being very elastic. The next one is going to be glute isometric hold. You're going to hold this for about 20 to 30 seconds, and we want to squeeze the glutes without extending the low back. The glutes are a primary function for hip extension, and we need that for speed. Then the next part is going to be hip thrust march. So we're going to do this glute bridge, and then we're going to march without letting our hips tilt side to side. If we do that, we're lacking hip stability, which is really important for injury prevention, but also proper hip extension, as hip extension is the primary factor of fast speed and especially fast acceleration. Now for the RDL hip mobility freestyle, we're going to get into a split stance RDL, and then we're going to rotate our hips in and out. This is going to facilitate hip internal and external rotation. If you have a band, put it around the front leg to get even more benefits. Focus on really rotating through a full range of motion. Feel your glutes, your hamstrings, your groin, and your glute med when doing this movement. Now we have skips into side lunges, so just skip about 1 to 3 times and then drop it to side lunge. Make sure you don't go too fast here, because if you drop too fast, you could strain your groin, especially if you're more of a beginner athlete. But if you're more advanced, get into a regular side lunge and really go through a full range of motion. This will get the groin prepared and the glute med prepared for high velocity and acceleration, which is easily strained from your first 1 to 3 steps. Now this next one is a quad stretch with a lean. When you stretch out your quad, you're going to get a little bit more erect fem, and we want to really put that heel into the butt and stretch out the quad while warming it up. Don't hold the stretch for too long, since this is a dynamic warm up. We need to be dynamic in our movement. Next one is just pulling the knee to the chest. We're just going to simply pull the knee straight to the chest with a tall posture. Don't go too fast, because you want to strain the glute, you want to strain the higher hamstring. We're just trying to warm up the body so we be prepared for sprinting, and this should be pretty easy intensity. Next one is a hamstring floss. So we're going to walk forward for a few steps and then go into an RDL and swing down towards our feet. This is going to be a good stretch on the higher and lower hamstring, but do not go too fast, because you could strain your hamstring if you're not prepared for training. If you're prepared for training, this is really important for not straining your hamstring when you're doing max velocity sprinting and acceleration. So it's just a quick sweeping motion with an RDL. Make sure you hinge properly and sweep towards the ground. Now getting into some more dynamic movements, we're going to do straight leg skips. We're going to kick the foot forward and alternate our hands with our legs, getting our body ready for faster contacts. Then we're going to get into duck walks. We're getting into a full deep squat. We're going to get a lot of hip internal rotation. This may look crazy, but you actually want to warm up your knee flexors, because your bicep femoris is at high danger during acceleration when you don't warm it up. Now we're going to do a lunge with a twist. So we're simply going to lunge and then twist towards our top leg. This is going to stretch out the hip flexors. It's going to get the glute warmed up and get you into more dynamic movements, which are more applicable to acceleration. So when we get into this lunge, twist towards, don't twist too fast, don't twist too much range of motion, just get the whole body warmed up and stretch out that hip flexor. Now, if this is a warm up for your max velocity day, you can do straight leg bounds into a stride out. You can do 1 to 3 straight leg bounds for about 20 yards and then stride out for 20 yards. The stride should be about 80 to 90% max intensity. Next one's sub-max bounce, around 80 to 90% intensity. Get off the ground in 0.2 seconds or faster and keep it rhythmic. Now, if this is acceleration day warm-up, then you could do 1 to 2 standing verts. You try and jump as high as possible from a standstill and drop fast down. And then kneeling 3-step projections or 1-step projections, where you get a kneeling stance and then project out, cover as much distance in 3 steps, and then kneel again and repeat this process. Another alternative could be banded 1-step projections. We put a band around your hip and then project out for 1 step, covering distance and extending the hip. But here's the problem. You have to pair the warm-up with a proper workout plan. That way you can see the best gains possible. Because just doing a warm-up but not doing proper speed training means you're not going to increase your speed. That's why the Speed Academy, the best online speed program, is here to give you the workout structure you need to transform your explosiveness and your short sprint speed. So if you want a done-for-you speed program with weekly coaching from me, click the top link in the description or the pinned comment to join today. And you need to pair this warm-up with proper speed training, so make sure you watch this video right here on a full guide on how to train for pure speed development.